Today, we are starting the first episode of our lessons on how to become a real and skilled data analyst. Let's start with this dashboard, for example. We explained how to design it in a previous video, but in all these upcoming episodes, we will not explain the design. We will explain data analysis and how we actually manage to select this data. All I want from you is to reach the end of each video thinking with the mindset of a data analyst. If you are interested in doing freelancing projects, these courses will be very useful to you. And if you are responsible for any data at your company, you don't necessarily have to be an official data analyst to create dashboards and reports. All or most of us make reports at the end of the day, the end of the month, or the end of the quarter. Imagine if these reports were presented in a professional way that befits your company and your position. This will elevate your status and strengthen your skills within the company. So let's dive into the first lesson of this series together, and let's start right away. What was the case in front of us? I will tell you the story. This was for the largest telecommunications company in the Middle East. A company that provides internet services, landline, mobile, circuits, and many other services. Naturally, their call center received thousands of calls a day, but the existing system only counted how many calls they received. And of course, you know that in a call center there are transfers, for example, to transfer to the landline. Or for internet faults you press 3. Or for mobile service faults you press 4. This data wasn't enough for them to know the actual call reasons. That is why they reached out to the other dashlevels.com team so we could help them find a solution to this problem until they could buy a new system or modify their current one to add the reasons for the calls. So we started working together to solve the problem. We talked to the person in charge of the call centers to understand how their current workflow operates. In short, the cycle was as follows. A call comes in, the agent listens to the customer's complaint, and based on that, they do some troubleshooting or open a ticket, and they close the call right there, without recording the primary reason for the call. We proposed a very simple and effective solution. Instead of building a system from scratch, we started using a tool everyone knows how to use, which is Excel tables. So how did we build this solution? We created a custom Excel template for each agent. The employee is required to fill in the call data in this template after every call, and this sheet is submitted at the end of every week. To ensure this data isn't lost and stays organized, we assigned a person to the role of data collector. This person is there to receive the Excel files from all employees at the end of the week and compile them all into a single data table. This way, we ended up with a highly respectable database that we can build our dashboard on. Let me give you some very important tips you should implement in your data entry if you are designing a case like this. Initially, we let the employees type the dates manually, but we discovered that typing dates manually in Excel causes a lot of errors. No one focuses while typing, especially a call center employee who is busy with calls and doesn't have time to focus on the format of the date. It was a difficult process. That is why we decided to convert all inputs into drop-down lists without any manual entry. We specified the month by name only, specified the day, specified the week, and specified the time. The employee can simply pre-fill this data for 10 rows, for example, at the beginning of the day. This saved them time, reduced human errors, and guaranteed accurate data. Let's quickly go over the columns we built in the Excel template so you get the full picture. The table was divided into these columns: month, day, week, time, support type, service issue, network, and country. Let's explain how the most important columns work. Regarding the date and time entry details, all entries are done via drop-down lists to completely prevent manual typing. The employee comes in at the beginning of the day, drags the cells, and selects, for example, that it is August on this specific day. As for the time, this was a very important point that made a difference. We ultimately decided to divide the time into durations of 2 hours each, meaning the employee simply selects that the call was in the period from 1 to 2, or from 2 to 4, and so on. This is much easier for the employee. And for us as management, the information that the call happened within those 2 hours is considered valuable data and is more than enough for us to make decisions. As for the support type column, this clarifies the status of the call and how it ended. We divided it into 3 main cases. First, non-served customer. This is the customer who called, and the line disconnected before the employee could serve them. Second, served with ticket. Here the employee served the customer and eventually had to open a ticket to request intervention from another department. Third, served without ticket. The customer called with a problem, the employee walked them through the troubleshooting steps they learned in the training, and the service was restored. So they closed the call without needing to open a ticket. Since this call center belongs to a company providing many services, we narrowed down the service type to 4 main categories: circuits, internet, landline, and mobile. And if the customer calls inquiring about anything else outside these 4 services, the employee simply selects Other Service. Moving to the next analysis, which is the issue type, we divided problem types into clear categories: complaint, financial inquiry, financial issue, general inquiry, technical inquiries, technical issues, and other. I would like to clarify that these lists didn't come out of nowhere. Initially, we left employees to type reasons manually, and we found we had thousands of random reasons. So we studied this data for months until we could summarize it into these lists. The network column defines the type of network related to the problem, whether it is alarms, clients, Ethernet, orders, or response services. We also have a list of countries where the company provides its services. With this, we established a properly founded table that serves as the single source of truth in the organization, showing us the reasons for calls so we can analyze the data. Someone might ask, since this data is entered manually, doesn't that mean there is a margin of error? The answer is of course. But as a data analyst, I accept an error rate that doesn't exceed 2%. If we compare the total calls recorded by the system with the number of calls recorded by employees in Excel, I will be very satisfied with this result. This solution is a fast and effective option until AI develops enough to listen to calls itself and analyze them automatically. Alright, so we have now received the files from all agents to the data collector. They simply take this data, copy and paste it under each other to provide me with a single database containing all the calls. Now it is our turn to start the data analysis. The first thing we need to know is the total number of calls. We go to the Insert menu and use pivot tables. We set the Values field to calculate the count. The result will show us that the total number of calls is 30,118 calls. It is highly recommended to display this total count as a large number in the middle of the dashboard to catch the eye. In the monthly analysis, we make another pivot table and add the months to the rows. To display this data beautifully and visually, we use a radar chart. We used it to show which months have the highest call volume, like September, and the lowest months, like January. Here, the role of data becomes clear. HR can determine hiring plans and organize vacations because I cannot approve vacations during a peak month when I need more agents. This also opens the door to insights regarding what happened in September to make calls spike like that. In the daily analysis, we take the same pivot table but put the days instead. The deep analysis here shows us that mid-month always brings the highest spikes in calls. In the same way, we do the hourly analysis and the weekly analysis, and we repeat the process for all details like tickets, network, and others. When we look at the peak hours from the daytime data, we will notice that calls start increasing from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. This is our peak period, and after that, the curve starts to drop. Here comes the role of analysis. Employees are forbidden from taking training or breaks during the morning peak hours. The numbers say we only need 10% of the employees to work at night during the quiet shifts, and the rest must work at full capacity in the morning. The goal of this distribution is to reduce wait time in the queue and improve KPIs. The best practice measures wait time in seconds, and the maximum acceptable wait time is 1 or 2 minutes to maintain excellent customer service. Now our data is ready. How do we show it on the dashboard? It is not logical to make it all column charts or pie charts. The most important data is the total inbound calls divided by the service type. The best way to display this is to show three things: the service name, the number of calls, and its percentage. Once you distribute the data like this, we immediately conclude that the highest percentage of problems is in the landline department. What are the capabilities of this dashboard? It features slicers that let you control data display, like the monthly, weekly, and support type slicers. This was more than enough for management. If we need other filters, we can add them, like a country slicer. In the country analysis, we wanted to show countries visually. We will discover that Algeria is the country with the highest call volume, with an average of no less than 270 calls a month during peak times. And when we look at the technical issues, we will find that 50% are complaining about the internet and the landline, concentrated in the Ethernet department. The action plan here is for management to immediately contact technical support in Algeria to find a root solution for the Ethernet problems. This will create a great business impact and ROI, reduce calls, and increase customer satisfaction and sales. This brings us to resource optimization. When calls decrease, I will settle for 60 employees instead of 100 and train them on troubleshooting over the phone to close the ticket immediately. This will save the cost of technicians who used to visit the sites. This dashboard serves the C-level and directors who need to see the summary, and also the section managers who dive in details to make operational decisions. One of the results was that transfers and inbound calls decreased. We merged the IVR options, focused our agents on the landline, and gave them advanced troubleshooting training. Now, what will happen when we get new data? We won't build the dashboard from zero. All the data collector has to do is take the new data and copy and paste it under the old data in the master sheet. The conclusion is that we learn how to think as data analysts. We take random calls, turn them into structured data, and come up with insights and crucial decisions as we just saw. This was the end of our first case study. If you want to download the template for this dashboard to practice on, you will find it on our website other-levels.com. Do not forget to interact with the video and write to me in the comments what dashboard you would like us to analyze next time. See you later, bye!